This is the most scheming wolf I have ever seen. He knew that the corpses of high-level monsters were worth a lot of money, so he specially hunted back for his master, a goblin chieftain. But in fact, the demon wolf is just a simple greedy mouth in his eyes. The male protagonist's online shopping skills are like treasures. Every day you can taste a variety of strange delicacies as soon as the meal arrives. In other words, the richer the owner, the more blessed it is. On this day, the demon wolf came idly to ignore the show and show a hand. After the magical hero saw it, instantly cast envious eyes. If only he could have a way to learn it. However, the demon wolf seemed to be looking at a fool. Isn't this thing magically usable? The male protagonist of Wen Yan hurriedly opened the system panel happily. He has magic paper, but how to use it? You can't rely on it. Okay. As soon as these words came out, the demon wolf suddenly became a little impatient. How else can this thing be used? Of course, you can use it, just imagine. If you want to use wind magic, you want to use wind. If you want to use fire magic, you want fire. The male protagonist almost frowned after hearing this. It turns out that communicating with geniuses is like this. But since the other party said so, he had to bite the bullet. Imagine what fireball looks like.
You're here to get!
The demon wolf really couldn't stand it anymore. He told the male protagonist, "You have to let the magic circulate in your body." After saying that, he also let him get started and actually feel the touch of the male protagonist's photo. It is difficult to describe in words, but he always felt that he was okay again. So we entered the practice session. Just look at the appearance. The fireball technique has been issued, but the power is a little less interesting. This goes on, obviously not the way. It is better to fast forward directly to the actual combat link. The male protagonist decisively refused. Let him fight with monsters now. I'm afraid he won't die directly. But the demon wolf was not asking for his opinion, but ignoring the order. Male protagonist. The demon king forcibly took him to a goblin lair. Then there was a wolf roar. In this way, the male protagonist has to fight. The demon wolf planned to leave him to hunt high-level monsters. Seeing that the goblin's stone axe almost hit him in a hurry, the male protagonist immediately released the fireball technique to the rear. Although the effect is very obvious, but nothing else. An accident happened. I didn't expect to trip over a stone. Just when the male protagonist thought he was powerless, a force suddenly appeared and blocked the attack. It turned out to be a demon wolf, and he secretly put a cover on him before leaving. But it has been consumed like this. Obviously not a long-term solution. So, the male protagonist decided to concentrate, continuously release fireballs one shot, then another. Soon his body adapted to the feeling. Even inadvertently shot a powerful fireball. Perhaps it was because the mana consumption was excessive, and the male protagonist obviously had a sense of dizziness. I don't even have the strength to stand up. Fortunately, before fainting, he saw the familiar red gloves, and it was already evening when the male protagonist woke up. At this time, the demon wolf was looking at him with a kind face, as if waiting for praise. But the male protagonist is a little unappreciated for the kind of actual combat. A few more times, I'm afraid he will be scared to death first. However, the surprise was far more than just these demon wolves, as he suddenly found that his level had also increased. Hearing this, the male protagonist hurriedly opened the panel. Indeed, it was not. Not only has the level been raised to level 3 skills, blue, there is even more fire magic. This kind of happy event is naturally indispensable, especially brought him back a few bone spirits. Although this thing cannot be used as an ingredient, but the magic stone in the body can be sold for a good price. And if you have money, you can buy food from the online supermarket as a reward. He is like the black Wagyu beef before. It turns out that this drunken man does not mean wine. But the male protagonist said he wouldn't agree to anything, just because the dishes he cooks have the effect of temporarily increasing attributes. After the demon wolf eats, I'm afraid he will make a big fuss again. He didn't want to be the same as last time. As soon as he woke up, he was surrounded by countless corpses. In this regard, the demon wolf had no choice but to give up. But no matter what, dinner is still to be eaten. The male protagonist originally wanted to get up and cook. Unexpectedly, the next second the body became weak. After learning that it was caused by the depletion of magic, fortunately he didn't plan to cook anymore. Buy some ready-made products directly in the supermarket. When you are tired from taking a bite, you should eat something sweet. So the male protagonist placed an order. Bread of all flavors. The demon wolf refused at first. He wanted to eat meat more than that. You can see the happy expression of the male protagonist, but he began to hesitate, tasted shallowly. It was really good to find not only creamy. There are also chocolates, each one to his liking. But this stunned the male protagonist next to him. Although this thing is very cheap, you have to eat too much. If you get a tooth decay, it's not worth the loss. However, in this regard, the demon wolf was very disdainful. He has the protection of the goddess of the wind, not to mention the disease of drinking poison. Even ailments are directly immune. The male protagonist couldn't calm down after hearing this. Originally, as a legendary level, the warcraft was already very strong. Now with the goddess's plugin, isn't it directly invincible? Ruji like her is the one who needs protection the most.
Who is God and Buddha, but it is okay, so please protect me.
The next day, the male protagonist came to a new town. It is still a familiar link. The soldiers defending the city stopped him again. The appearance of the demon wolf, it scared the people around him very much. The male protagonist hurriedly took out his trade union card and explained that the person next to him was his servant. After confirming that it was correct, the soldier was stunned. I didn't expect that a mere first-level adventurer could actually subdue a first-level giant wolf. However, as soon as these words came out, the demon wolf was not happy. Fortunately, the male protagonist stopped in time. Misunderstood as a first-class monster, it is better to save a lot of trouble in the future. This is a painting that can only be used after concluding a contract with each other. As the name suggests, you can communicate with each other without making a sound. It was useless before, because it was not necessary. Now used, it is to give the male protagonist face. Then under the soldier's reminder, the male protagonist finally entered the city smoothly, because it is too ostentatious to carry the demon wolf. So the male protagonist placed it in a warehouse. He himself intends to look for the world map. The good guy is quite clingy, but there is nothing that cannot be solved in one meal. If there is then 2 meals. Then the male protagonist came to a bookstore. He wanted to know if there was a world map for sale here, but was told by the boss that thing is a state secret, but he didn't use it to fight. Even if it is a rough one, it is fine. In desperation, the male protagonist ran to the library again. The result is not only nothing. The early closing also wasted 2 silver coin tickets. Money. When I went back I found that the demon wolf was a little aggrieved. Baba didn't need him to speak. Male protagonist also knows it is time to cook. I saw cooked food on the recommendation page. He wasn't ready to go to great lengths. Eat directly from the counter. It was a convenient and hassle-free 2 large plates, containing skewered chicken and pork cutlets respectively. With 1 bite, the demon wolf wanted to stop in an instant. You can't feed the master before you start to be yourself. The rice is still a small towel, dipped in the sauce and buried in the rice. This will warm the cold pork chops. The sauce will also seep into the rice. The combination of the 3 forms a perfect partner. 1 bite of delicious food can't be stopped. The next day the male protagonist came to a tavern. Be prepared to ask adventurers for clues about the map. Intuition tells him that everyone here is not good at it. But since he was here, he still bit the bullet and picked a clumsy one, and asked the waiter to help serve the wine so sensible. The attitude of the 3 people immediately changed, and the male protagonist had no reservations. It shows the intention, but I didn't expect that. As soon as these words came out, the bald head quietly leaned into the male protagonist's ear, whispered, they happen to have a map in their hands. If you really want it you can transfer it, because they have already memorized it. For the sake of the male protagonist inviting him to drink, with just 1 coin, you can take it away. If you miss this village shell, there will be no store. The male protagonist was entangled in his heart for a long time. In the end I still couldn't resist the temptation. Unexpectedly the 3 of them just left the rear on their front feet. The adventurers laughed out loud. It turns out that this thing only sells 1 silver coin in the adventurers guild. The male protagonist, after being pitied, is not angry, but it didn't take long. He figured it out, and he just made money when he ran out of money. After looking at the map he planned to go to the east facing the sea. Hearing this, the demon wolf suddenly became interested.